guys, we're gonna do a beautiful trout core shot stick bait. And we're gonna start with showing you guys what I'm gonna be pulling up. So I got the Fat Guys 5-inch core shot. You can go on fatguys.com. It's a 5-inch stick bait core shot. Fatguysfishing.com. You can get them there. So I have 2 of those. They came with these core shot rods. Come with about 10 a piece. I'll be showing you guys how to use these here in a little bit. We are going to have some black flake, 35 thousandths is my preference. We're going to have some green pearl from Bait Plastics. We are going to have some green pumpkin from Bait Plastics. We're going to have some, oh man, I forgot what this is called, Polyglitter Pink, 40 thousandths from Lure Works. That's going to be cool. And some Silk Silver from Bait Plastics. I got a bigger tub, but you can get them in the smaller ones. I think there's some in like 2 ounce, but Silky Silver works perfect. And then I'm gonna have 3 half cups of Bait Plastics 242 is what I'll have. So I've already poured them out, so I won't have to worry about pouring them out into the cups. You guys won't see that, but we are gonna do a core shot in a trout color, a trout pattern, I should say. So hopefully this works out. I had a few adjustments I had to make to the core. I got to pour it a little cooler. So these cores you don't want to pour hot or else they'll dent on you. And you don't want to lube them excessively or else they will just, the core will pull right out. You guys are having problems looking at me. Yeah, I lost my beard. It fell off somewhere. I don't know, somewhere. But I'll check in with you in a couple seconds. I'm just going to get everything prepped and ready. And then I'll just turn the camera down so you guys can see what I'm mixing and putting in there. And we'll make this a real fun one. It might be a little long, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. So we'll see you in a second. All right, guys. So we are going to be working with those colors and those 2 cups that I sent you. We won't put in, or I told you, and we won't be putting in glitter or anything right now. I also did fail to mention that you are going to need a dual injector. The one I'm preferring to use is going to be the dual injector from Bait Plastics. But I did forget to tell you that. Always make sure you're using respirator and or ventilation, wind fan, something to get all the smoke out of there, and gloves. But right now we don't need our gloves. We're going to start off with a little bit of green pearl here from Bait Plastics. And I am going to choose, we're going to go a little bit light on this. So I'm going to choose a smidge for a half a cup, guys, a smidge. If you guys don't have these nifty metal ones, just go with it. I'm going to kind of give you guys a base point, and you guys will probably run with it from there. Always make your adjustments the way you want to let it or see them, but this is the way I prefer to do it. I may add a little bit of some pink pearl here in a little bit, and maybe we'll see. So, and this is going to be the Silky Silver. I don't want a bunch, guys. We don't want to cloud this bait. I want to see that core really well, so we want to make sure we can see that bait fairly well. Then we're just going to stir them in like usual. I'll add 2 drops of green pumpkin to the green. The stirring is kind of boring, but I'm hoping I can speed it up in this process here. Let me just wipe the top off. I hate getting my hands all jacked. So we're just going to add 2 drops of this. Not much. Just enough to cloud it. That was 2. It just dropped a big ass clump. So we'll speed up the stirring process. Alright guys, so right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of just red pearl. I don't like the way, it's not sheening a little bit, so I'm going to add just like a quarter of a smidge of that. I just want that red to kick out just a little bit, so not much, guys. I just want that red to taint it just a little bit. It's a red highlight from Bait Plastic, what I'm using, but you can use like your rose violet from Do It, or just something a little bit pinker, just to have that little bit of highlight to it. You just want that pinker highlight. So we'll heat these up, and then while they're heating up, I will start making that core color, and then we'll go from there. So I will show you guys here. Alright, so we're going to bat these in for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Ooh, look at that. Bait Plastics, got the old school Fat Guy sticker. Let me see if I can turn that camera for a second. The old school Fat Guy sticker right there. Woo! They make good stuff, guys, so don't lose out on that. So I'll be 2 minutes 30 seconds, and then we're going to work on the core color. The core color should be fairly easy. I'm just going to take this, add a couple drops of bubblegum, and I'm going to add a little bit of pink, floral pink. Nah, we're just going to go straight bubblegum. I like this straight bubblegum. We'll keep it light, nothing crazy. So I'm just going to add a couple revolutions to it, and then I will definitely go from there. So we're just going to keep stirring this in, and we'll just make sure all the pink, probably get it to the pink that you want it. That'll be my coreshot, and then I'll show you guys how to lube the rods before this gets done, and then we'll shoot them. Alright, so this is how I'm going to lube up my cores. So I got a little bit of Pam. I went to the dollar store, bought about 10 of these bad boys. I don't know if I'm supposed to use that on YouTube, whatever. So I just sprayed in my rag, but you don't want to get them soaking wet because the cores will not adhere. So you definitely don't want to get them too terribly hot, or too terribly lubed, I should say. And that will definitely help when you're pulling these out of the cores, because if you don't get a clean pull out of the cores, your bait gets all jacked, and then it gets all, I don't know, it just gets weird. You don't want it to have a sticky. It'll get bubbly, weird, curve, all kinds of stuff. So just lube each individual one and just set it right inside. They have grooves for them, and you just set them in there, and you'll close it up. So I'll do this with all 10 of them, and then I'll be back. Shouldn't take but a few seconds, but I'll be back on here just a brief. All right, guys, so we are done lubing these bad boys up. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna take this, you're gonna close her up. Make sure it don't have crap on it like that. Nothing else crazy that you need to do with it. Just close her up. You have clamps. They did come with screws. You can use the bolts or the screws, the lockdowns for those. I choose to use these clamps. Much easier for me. And then we will get our handy dandy. Oh, I gotta pop out my plastic, and then I gotta add the flake. So this is how that green turned out. It's pretty pretty. So I'll stir it in a little bit, get all that white stuff off the bottom out, and then I will stir, or I'll add the flake to it. It's actually a good thickness, so it's not too terrible. It's you want it to be thick so that when it dries up, it doesn't suck down as much heat as possible. So we're gonna add that black flake to it here, and then we're gonna add a little bit of that pink flake to the super silver, I guess is what you call a silky silver. So this is the Dakota McNeil 35 thousandths hollow black flake. Then we got pink flake from Lureworks. And we'll stir them in, we'll shoot them, and then I will tend to the coreshot as soon as it's done. We have to put this in for a little bit longer, so I'm gonna have to throw this in after I'm done stirring it in, but it's gonna be a pretty slick looking color, guys. Not too terrible at all. And remember, when you're putting it back in, if you do, just don't heat it that much, because if you heat it a bunch, it's going to suck down on the cores, and you just won't be happy with the outcome. It'll definitely dent on the cores if they're too hot. So we'll be right back, and then we'll do the rest here. All right, let's give this a second shot. I already stirred it a little bit, made sure it was ready to go. I made sure my dual was cleared out. Can't count the number of times that I've shot that dual or tried to, and I had it full. So we're just gonna suck them up. We're only doing one side. We won't do both sticks at the moment, but it's really thick, guys. It's not a very thin shooting plastic for the cores. You don't want it to be that way. You just want to be able to force it in there. And you want it to just, oh man, it's gonna look good. That was awesome. There we go. Make sure you're topping this off. I did forget my my sprue injector, but make sure you're my sprue extender. But just make sure you're topping that off because it will suck down. You don't want bubbles in there. And as soon as that dries up, I will show you guys what it looks like. All right, and we're back. So they're nice and dry now. They should be. And like I said, so we put the cores in. Now we just have to remove the cores. We're going to do our best to not make the bait crinkle at all when we're pulling them out. That's why we lubed it. So this is what the core is going to look like. So like, see the denting. So we still have a couple dents, but it'll be all right. For trial purposes, this is going to be fine. So I got a couple dents in there. I'll have to still work on that. Maybe I got to heat up the rods. I'm not sure yet. So basically you want to pop those rods out, and I think the best way to pop them out is to pull them from this direction. That's my take. So, and if they are going to crinkle on you, hopefully it's not too terribly bad. So I'll just pop them out. We'll see how smooth they go. So this is going to be trial and error, guys, so we'll try to do this. So there's the one I'm pulling. So just let your plastic dry a little bit longer if you're not lubing them a lot, just because that should work fine. So as long as they're not catching. So there's one dented one. But basically that's what I'm going to do for all 10. And then we're going to get our core ready. So don't pop them off first. I let them hang for a second, just so when I'm getting the core ready. So we're just popping those bad boys right off. I got a couple dents, but nothing to go crazy about. I do have to perfect that before I decide to start selling them. But so these are without the cores. I got 3 more cores to make or to get through. And then bear with me. I'll show you guys how to put them back in. So there's that one. I mean, just the biggest thing is you don't want those rods to, so you don't want the rods to stick to it. I may have messed these up pretty well, but we'll see. So I think these ones I didn't lube enough. We'll try to straighten them out. We'll see. There'll be trial and error right in front of you guys. So I got a couple dents in those. But so what I've decided to do is trim them, not pull them. Because the straighter you can get that cut, the more the opening will stay open. This is by no means the only way to do it. This is the way I'm just choosing to do it. I seem to get more filled baits this way versus so just make sure that opening is good and open. So like when you cut them, they'll be a little bit like that. Just make sure you squeeze them and open them up. And I'll show you guys how to lay them out here in a second. How I lay them out, I guess I should say. So if you leave them pinched, they're not going to fill, guys. They're not going to fill at all. So just make sure you speed. I'll speed this up. All right, so I got a funky one, right? So it's kind of not open all the way, and it won't open on when I roll it out. So I'm just going to trim her back just a hair bit more. So you have a little bit of pink on the top side. You really want to make sure that that hole is wide open. And then when you set them back in, just set them back in the way you took them out. You should be good to go. It doesn't matter what side the laminates are. You should be fine there. So this one's one of those crinkly ones, just due to the fact that it was a little bit thin. So we're going to put all 10 of those in there like that, and I'll be definitely right back. A bit rickety on a couple of these, just because of the way I ripped them out, like this one and this one. They're a little crooked. We're going to see how they test out, and then they're a little dented. So I think the ones that are dented have a little bit of a difference in the thickness that went through them. But all I was going to do from here, just slap it together. I can get it on right. There we go. Just going to slap it together, put it in the clamp, and then you're going to want to get your core a little bit hotter. I already have it pretty well, but we'll heat it up just slightly more, just because it's been sitting there for a little while. So I'll do another 10 seconds, and then I'll get ready. I'm going to use a 6-ounce injector. I don't know. I guess I'll use the quality. It's not that bad. People talk about these a lot, but It's not bad, it's just not as smooth as say bass tackle. I'm waiting on my my bait junkies one to get here. Hopefully it gets here soon. I just want to try it out. So good and liquidy. Then you're gonna, like I said, it's gonna want to be a bit more runny, just so you can get it in there. I'm sure I'm gonna have some that aren't gonna turn out, but to increase your chances there, you're gonna want to give it a little oomph. So I got the little squirt out on the back side. I'm hoping it'll be all right. And just still make sure you're topping everything off. And as soon as it dries, I'll be back, and then we'll break it down what I used today, and then I'll give you a cool 10% code. For Fat Guys Fishing for this exact mold, and then I'll tell you guys what I use. I use all kinds of fun stuff, so we'll break it down for you in a bit. Alright, so we're back. Should be good and dry. Shouldn't take long. The cores are pretty thin. I did push a little hard, so it squeezed out the back there. I give this clamp too much credit, but it works. It works just fine. I just pushed a little hard. So we'll open it up with the finger. Oof, they look good though. All of them filled, so maybe that extra push. So don't worry about the flashing, guys. You can take that apart when you're done, like letting them dry or cure. If you're laying them out flat, so just basically just gonna take that there. You're just gonna pull it. I mean, it's flashing. It's not a big deal as long as it's not everywhere. So there you go. Now it's a clean one. So there are the trout worms. They look awesome too. So they'll have the pink cores. You could make the pink pinker, you could change it up. I'll take some cool pictures since the videos don't do them a whole lot of justice. But that will be, you could always make your adjustments from there. Make the green darker, you can make the pink and the silver brighter, whatever you want. That's just a good base start for the trout worms, or if you want to make one exactly like that, then go for it. But so basically what I used, let me hang these up and I will tell you. So what I used was the Fat Guys Fishing coreshot, and I used some Lure Works pink 40,000s in the super silver side of the core, or silky silver, and then I used a little bit of the red highlight as well in there. So those were also pre-poured. And then I used, for the core, I used just bubblegum from Do It X2. And then I used black flake. And it's the black hollow flake from McNeil Exotic. And I used green pumpkin. And I lost my green pearl powder. Oh well, it was green pearl powder from Bait Plastics as well. So that's what I used. I used a little lube, I used gloves, I used a ventilation system, and then I got an air clamp. So you can use the Harbor Freight clamps are pretty good, 20% discounts. You can get them for like $4, $5. So don't worry about stressing about that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. And then the 10% code will be somewhere like in here or like down here, maybe right. That's a little small. Maybe right here. But we look forward to you guys watching. And if you want to order some baits, it's TitanLuresCo.com, TitanLuresCo.sd.com. Everything will be in the descriptions in the link. Please like and comment, and just have a great day. And if you make some baits, maybe just post them up on Facebook, tag me in them. That'd be cool. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.